This week on the Media Boss Podcast.
The transformative message of impact is greater than influence is used to get entrepreneurs or just aspiring everyday individuals to see that their gifts right now can change the world.
Media Boss Podcast is brought to you by two of our new partners. One is Pantheon. I can't wait to tell you about them later. And brought to you by Convert and Flow. You're going to learn so much about them. But now it's time for the Media Boss Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Media Boss Podcast. I'm Dr. Barrett Matthews. I'm excited again. You know I'm excited. You know why I'm excited, don't you? That's right. Because I got another great show for you and another great guest. Don't hate me because of this. My guests are great. I can't do anything about it. Anyway, man, let me tell you about this particular guest. He is the man. He's the myth. He's the legend behind Impact is Greater Than Influence podcast. You know the brand. Impact Greater Than Influence. Come on, guys. If you don't know it, you're going to know it today. Let me tell you something. He's a serial entrepreneur, an inspired serial entrepreneur. And I'm inspired today because I am happy to welcome you to the Media Boss podcast and my guest, Mr. Rodney Waits. Rodney, welcome to the Media Boss podcast, my friend.
Thank you, man. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Let me tell you something. I just met this man today. And I feel like I've known him for the longest time.
I felt the same.
Yeah. We and him, we just hit it off. We've been waiting to do this interview. So I hope you guys feel the excitement, feel the energy, because we're going to have some fun here. Now, I got to start out with, first the fact that you're a serial entrepreneur. Talk about that.
Well, I'll tell you, number one, I'm a failed serial entrepreneur.
Are we all?
Yes. We got to know it. People have to see it. I mean, you're not alone if you're someone who's trying multiple things. Like, the greatest thing about being an entrepreneur is the journey. It's about the chase. It's about bringing that something that brings your soul to this height of where you can feel like you're in alignment with what you're supposed to do. So I've actually had 2 coffee shops. I ran 4 or 5 businesses in very, very different niches. One was Triple Tower Entertainment, ran that with my best friend. Promotion services.
Okay.
Another one was handyman referrals. We didn't want to do any of the labor, so we partnered with the advertising and took percentages from gross.
I love it.
And then another one was mobile detailing. I had Stop and Clean mobile detailing, started with my friend circle, ended up with my boss's people and all the people around me.
You know, I love this guy because he hustles.
Yeah, I do.
Just what he just said. He hustles. And that's what makes it go, man. And I want to say this. If you're not ready to hustle, you're not ready for business.
That's true.
You're not ready for business because you're going to have to hustle about this. So you've done a lot of things.
I have.
You've done a lot of things. Look, what's the main thing you learned from it?
I've learned that you can only accomplish so much when it comes to doing everything on your own.
Whoa!
You've got to have leverage. You have to be that person who lets go of the reins and finds people that are better at what you're not so great at.
There's a motto I live by. The first book I wrote is called Why Didn't You Get It Done? And I tell people that in order to get it done, you don't have to be the one.
That's true.
So it's one of those things, man. It's hard for people to learn, hard for people to grasp. I have a friend, she has by the way, if you're ever in California, she has a muffin business. They're freaking delicious muffins.
Wow.
It's called the Original Muffin Message. Shout out to Dr. Black. But the thing is, she just got an opportunity to expand her operation and be in a lot of different locations. And I told her, I said, you're about to do something really hard now. She's like, what? I said, you're going to have to let go.
Ooh, so true. That control. Yes, that fear of, if I can't do it, then it's not going to get done to the ability I need it to be. It's all a myth. It's all a myth. Stay away from it.
You hear? It's all a myth. Right?
It is.
That's what I'm telling you, because it is hard, though. It's your baby.
That's right.
It's hard for people to do that and to trust that I have to put a team in place and do that. It is one of the things for business owners that we struggle with. So you're doing that as a business owner and learning to let go. That's hard, man.
It is.
But it's rewarding if you let it happen.
Yes, your baby deserves the best care ever.
Yes.
But find the best filtering process that you would use to go and associate with what your values are, your insights are, your way of creating impact for your customers and for the people that you want to serve. And then go find the people that agree and can not only take that on and do it, but can embody it.
Yeah.
They use ownership with it. That's the best managers too.
Let me tell you, one of my, because I have a team that helps me produce media for other people.
Perfect.
And the lead person I have working with me, she won me over like probably within the first week because she started talking in terms of we and us.
That's it.
That's what I wanted to hear. When she said that, like, okay, she's on board.
She is.
She's on board. I'm like,
for
okay.
every podcast I have, I always started off when I'm like trying to hit something home, and I'm like, guys, this is not about me, it's about we. So I say that every single time to give them insight to, I might be able to relate to failure and relate to ways to create success, but I'm not the end all be all.
No,
I'm just the introduction to you having that inspiration to go and find it and be resourceful for yourself.
So Rodney, you said every podcast. How many have you done?
So this is cool because you are a big fan of omnipresence media.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I am an entrepreneur and I have what's called shiny object syndrome. Okay.
My man.
So I'm telling you right now, brother, the key was for me to find a way. So I said my discipline would be a non-negotiable. So I said, okay, well, what do I do? Along comes an individual, Carrie Painter, still to this day. Thank you so much for the introduction to Making an Impact, which is a radio show. And then that radio show gets turned into the podcast. Behind the scenes, I have my phone on the window recording to make the micro content. So it all is around different platforms, specifically with different messages. But then you've got the problem of distribution. So I need somebody like your team to bring it to fruition.
That's right.
Because guess what I'm doing behind the scenes? I've got 8 hands and 1 computer.
And the thing is, I always talk to my clients. I always tell them, look, man, my job is just to make sure you can just be the talent.
That's it. What a great pitch.
Let me take the heavy lifting. You just be the talent. Do what you do best.
Wow.
And so that's the whole thing. And I love that about how you're doing that. And now you just know you need to distribute all your content.
That's
a beautiful thing. So, okay, let's get to the big one.
Let's do it.
Impact greater than influence.
Yes.
First of all, I told you before, I love that type. I love that. That is a great, because see, first of all, I believe that.
Yes.
And I did an event a couple of years ago where we were talking about, the whole premise was on impact. And I just, you don't know how big that is to me, because I actually prayed. This is something I prayed for. I prayed to God to let me make more impact in this world.
I do the very same every day.
That's why we get along, man.
That's it. That's what it is. God's like, hey, you got a running mate now.
Right.
Here's somebody who's with you.
That's why we get along.
I love it.
So talk to me about that, about the brand and the podcast.
Sure. So I'm going to give you much more than you asked for, because we, my friend, I'm telling you, are just,
let's do this.
This energy is alive.
It is.
Basically, the transformative message of impact is greater than influence is used to get entrepreneurs or just aspiring everyday individuals to see that their gifts right now can change the world. And remember that I said right now. They just got to first realize it, internalize it, and then start to share it. Most people are so weighted down by all of the distractions in the world and the delusions in the world and the misconceptions in the world. When you're focused on impacting the lives of someone else first, now you're becoming the right influence. So the best thing, and this is why I said I'll give you more of what you asked for, is I ask myself this every day. I'm like, how can I go out and impact the lives of other people? And when I think of other people, I think mainly I can relate to a struggling entrepreneur. Because like I said in the very beginning of the show, I'm a failed serial entrepreneur. I'm still an entrepreneur. And I thought about it, and a lot of what gets revealed to me is that every single day, people are finding ways to relate the brand impact is greater than influence to 2 other things that have been holding them back and bringing them forward. A friend of mine said clout is less than longevity, because longevity to him, sustainability to him, is the best thing to have. And he's like, I'm not interested in clout. And there's someone else was like, well, relationship is greater than religion. And I was like, praise God.
Wow.
So all of these things are helping people realize their internal messages.
Wow.
And the greatest quote that I heard when I was running the other day was, sometimes our greatest contribution to humanity is our own self-realization.
And That's true.
It's so true.
That is so true. And the worst part about this particular podcast is that I have to listen. I can't take notes because that was good.
Thank you. Thank you. It's recorded.
It is
just
recorded,
like we
but
get
I'm
to look at it
I'm like,
later.
some of you guys out there, you're taking notes. I want to take notes because he's dropping bombs here. And so how did you come up with the title?
I love that you asked that. No one has yet. And I want to tell you.
Really?
Yes. But I want to tell you. And when I say no one, I mean just in this particular function.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But yeah, not just no one. But I prayed as well. And I was like, you know what, God, I'm overwhelmed. I run a radio show every single weekend. I've got a real estate business for sales. I've got a real estate business for investments. And now I want to take on coaching. I've got a life coaching certification. Who am I going to go coach? I was like, God, you've given me a message. You've given me a voice. And my job is to empower other people to realize their voice.
Yes.
So I was like, how do I do that? And I was like, I've got to come up with one overarching way to tie it all together. And I sat there and without a hesitation, my hands wrote down impact greater than influence.
Wow.
And I said, that's my story in a nutshell. I said, I've been to the bottom as an entrepreneur. I've seen things that most people attribute to being successful. It's not. A lot of billionaires, maybe even multi-millionaires and even below that, are miserable, man.
Yeah.
And I've met them, and it's because their quality of life was compromised by the things they never wanted to do, but they saw it as an option and a shot to take advantage of and use to grow their own success. And when you're not focused on others, your growth is going to stop at one point.
And it's not to say that people don't or even shouldn't have influence. It's just that we remember those who made impact.
I say it like this. Impact is a prerequisite to having the right influence.
Ooh. The right influence. That's a key.
That's it.
The right influence, because influence can be bad too.
That's right. And I've seen many of people have the worst of it.
Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. And I mean, I see it all the time too. Now, I want to ask you, because you're also an author.
Yes.
So let's talk about your book, man.
Okay.
Or books. How many do you have?
Book to come. So this is the best part about it. It's called Brace for Impact.
Ooh.
Yes. The title came from me thinking about this world thinks that us going through a pandemic with COVID was rough. This world thinks us going through market crashes with houses was rough. But wait till you have a society that's only caring for themselves.
Ooh.
Wait till that pandemic comes around. You've got to brace for that impact, and you've got to be prepared to take up your voice and stand out amongst the people that are ready to serve others.
I love
and
that.
relate everything back to the bare foundation, which is insight, value, God, everything that builds us to carry on through the best of our days has to be shared more.
Yeah.
There's a need for more impact leadership. And that is what I'm creating, is an impact leadership certification.
Oh my God. Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. This is really getting good. So, but no, so Rodney, I know I love what you said there about just, first of all, the idea of bracing for impact. I love the way you broke that down, because, one of the things that I've heard people say, especially with the pandemic and so forth, is like, this is the new normal. I kept hearing that phrase. And I kept saying to someone, I said, it's change.
That's right.
Change is constant.
That's right.
And I said, you just have to be ready and embrace change. And as long as you embrace change, I always tell people, I said, a 30-year-old doesn't even know what it's like to go to an airport and just watch airplanes without being strip searched.
True.
Because when 9/11 happened, things changed. It just happened. I mean, my parents are, in their later years, they never thought that they'd have a TV in every room, a color TV in every room with a remote control. I mean, they never thought that, but change happens.
Right.
And look at this. How long ago was it that we were using CDs and DVDs?
True.
Wasn't that long ago.
No, for like 8 years or
right.
7.
But things change. So like what you said, brace for impact. Something else is coming. Right.
And that's what it's about.
And oh man, I love that. I can't wait to get a copy.
You are.
I can't wait to get a copy of that. So, okay, you're an author, you're a podcaster.
Yes.
And so you said that you're going to be putting together the course.
Yes.
So talk about it.
So impact leadership to me is about a new age of leadership. It's about much needed values that need to get addressed that are subsurface level. There's a lot of entrepreneurial fails, and it comes from people not caring about why they fail. So I want to approach why you'll potentially fail in the course, in the certification. And I want to create these foundations for how you can relate to those people, those entrepreneurs, those people in everyday life that want more, that want to see their optimal self, but they have too much pressure.
Yeah.
How do we take the pressure off of them and help them build themselves, help them build their faith? And it surfaces and surrounds itself around 3 F's: faith, fulfillment, finances. Because first, if you have your faith right and you find out what God has given you, find out what he's instilled to be your message to the world, then you can have more fulfillment and alignment because you found your purpose. And after you found your purpose and you're working in your purpose and you're scaling your purpose and you're having more people believe in you and carry on your purpose, guess what you run into? Money. Fulfillment, finances, just like that.
I love that. So you've done some deep introspection, even come up with.
Yes, there's 15 notebooks stacked like this.
It's like that time you sit in the closet by yourself to fill up that stuff right there. With that, wow. So are you doing this with a team, or are you working on this by yourself?
This is a great question, and this is for all you guys that need to know you don't have that many hands. A lot of what I do has been not only engineered and the idea founded with and implemented by all myself. I find people that resonate with the message that comes from it, and I have people desire the result to see more change that comes from it, but it's all on my pace. I have an amazing best friend who I want to actually head the department of the foundation I want to create that will help struggling entrepreneurs as military men and women. And I want him to head that, and I want him to own that as his own brand. And I have it picked out for him, but he doesn't know it. He will after this.
He will after this, right?
But I'm saying that those are the ideas and the people that I have behind me. And I've had employees and I've had 1099 subcontractors, things like that. But mostly at the helm of all this vision sculpting, it's just me.
Wow. So I got to ask you this, because this is something I know a lot of people got to, as a serial entrepreneur,
yes,
as someone who's putting your brand out there like this, what's the biggest challenge you run into?
The biggest challenge is having people question you. So think about it. If you've got something that you know you would die for, if you've got something that you know that you're meant to be on this earth for, why let someone take that away from you? There's so many other people out there that can resonate with you and your message and that you can align yourself with and that can help you grow your message and even probably change it to be something that's even more powerful, because there's nothing better than being part of something that's bigger than yourself.
I agree. And then I also caution those out there. Be careful of what you're saying to yourself.
That's right. Every day. Your self-talk is everything. If you're saying something like, well, I wish I could go and accomplish this, or I'm trying to accomplish this. No, say I'm actively creating. Like you saw, he said, what's the name of your book? I said, well, it's not written yet, but I'm an author. So I am, right? Like you've put it out there that you're going to do it.
And it's funny you said that, how you said that you and I are so in sync. But about the word try, I tell people all the time, don't try, do it.
That's it.
Because I use this analogy. I told this to my sister recently because she asked me about stuff. And I said, let me ask you a question. If you were broken down on the side of the road, you called me to pick you up. If I said I'm going to try, are you going to wait for me?
True.
No. I said, no, that's exactly.
That's right.
So you either do it or you're not.
That's it.
And that's the way I look at it. I love the way you did that about being an author, because I'm excited about the book now. I hope you guys are too. So, Rodney, I want to ask you, because you're mentioning about the course you're going to put out.
Yes.
How are you going to put that out?
So I actually have a website you can go if you want to support the foundation thus far. It's impactstartshere.com.
Okay.
I've created a top 100, which I'm going to essentially be pouring constant value in from any type of speaking engagement I do, anything I learn from masterminds, any type of inner circle that I create. But that coaching first is going to be launched to that group of top 100 supporters, because they've shown their faith in me by just simply buying a coffee cup, buying a shirt, buying a hat. But what does it do? It shows when they go out and about in their community, the message. So it's the lowest bar entry to get into everything that I'm building.
And that's the key. So I got to ask you this.
Sure.
What else are you working on?
Right now, I'm trying to find a partner that is going to help with potential ramifications of people getting to a point of where they have no hope in business and they are given the right resources, the right mental health therapy, the right amount of strategies to keep going in their entrepreneurial endeavors.
I love it.
I want to find someone who's working with suicide awareness for entrepreneurs. There's
love
a
that.
failure rate and there's a suicide rate that is at an all-time high. And I think it's because people have lost care for the world. I think that when you go into your local grocery store, when you go into your local business, you should not feel like your day just went downhill because of the way they made you feel.
I love it. I love it. Rodney Waits, thank you, man, for joining me here on the Media Buzz podcast today, my friend. I'm looking forward to talking to you further. We're going to do some more work together. Everybody, show some love for Rodney. Rodney, thank you so much. And guys, we'll be back with more of the Media Buzz podcast.
Thanks, man.
Hey, everybody, the Media Boss podcast has been brought to you by our partners, Pantheon and Convert and Flow. Make sure you get with us so you can find out more about how you can help your business run smoothly with Pantheon and Convert and Flow.